Connected. We are connected. Listen, put me on speaker. Okay, Podbean, you don't know what I was just doing. I was hitting my speaker there. Listen, because we are getting put on speaker on this Tuesday evening. I am Savvy Venus. I am First Lady Venus. I am Venus Walker. And this is our Tuesday evening podcast, which we are which we are actually doing on Podbean. And you have to excuse me, it's still new. I'm looking at it and it's just telling me something. I don't know what's going on Podbean. I hope that you are recording. But to my YouTube viewers and subscribers and those that will come on and those that will catch this by the replay, God bless you and happy Tuesday. So on this Tuesday evening, put me on speaker. Listen, here's tonight's topic. You knew me, you don't know me. I'm going to say it again. You knew me, but you don't know me. And I got notes here, so I'll probably get my notes, but I'm just going to flow. And what I know, I want to talk to some leaders. I want to talk to some people that are being positioned in a different way in this season. Listen, because I am kingdom, I am a minister, I am a first lady, I am a kingdompreneur, and I talk to leaders because I am a leader. I talk to leaders a lot, and I want you to understand that in this season, as God is repositioning you and even pivoting you into a new place, you're going to encounter people that think they know you. Yes, there are going to be people that you're going to see that you haven't seen in a very long time, and you have changed. Listen, you're about your kingdom business, you're about your father's business, and these people do not know that person. So when you encounter them, they're going to interact with you or want to interact with you the way that they used to. And this is when you're going to have to make the statement, the very necessary statement, that you knew me, but you don't know me. Especially if you were someone like me whose past was a lot of people that, may have been what people call, street people, or these were people that were not in the church. Okay, this is not church people that we are encountering. The way that they may roll up on you, you're going to have to let them know, listen, no, that's not me anymore. That's not who I am anymore. You knew me. And because one of the first things that people will say is, girl, I know you, or man, I know you. No, you knew me, but you do not know me. And here's why you're going to have to make this statement: because a pivot has happened and you are no longer who you used to be. Let me give you the definition of pivot. Pivot is a complete change, or completely changing the way in which somebody does something. So the Venus that you see now in her 50s is not the Venus that you would have saw in her 20s. Although if you come into my presence and you see me, I may look the same to you, especially knowing me, and especially like now, if I have my hair in a ponytail, or if that's something that you remember seeing me, my features haven't changed that much. And so if you come up on me and go to talking to me, listen, a lot of times, people, even though you've changed, what they see is the exterior. What they see is on the outside. And if they come into your presence and they are able to engage with you for a while, it'll begin to click that, hey, this person has changed, or hey, okay, maybe I can't talk to them that way. But a lot of times people are just ignorant and really don't care. And so this is when you have to stand up and make the statement and say, hey, listen, you knew me, but you do not know me. Now, this is necessary in two different instances that I want to bring out. Okay, two different instances that I want to bring out, that this may be necessary for you to say, hey, you knew me, but you don't know me. One is, there's been a long period of time since you've been in their presence. And I think I just said that, it's been a long period of time. It's been years has gone by and they haven't seen you. And so now you've got to reintroduce yourself. Oh, I know you knew me, but you don't know me. The second one is, you've changed quickly while still connected to them, and they have remained the same. Now, this can happen as people go into doing self-help, you're doing a self-growth. Even if you go into the church and you give your life to the Lord and you start living differently, which means now I'm not going to the club. Now I'm not smoking with you. Now I'm not drinking with you. You're still in my presence. You still see me. But I've got to make the statement to you that you knew me, but you don't know me. Why? Because a change has come and I am now a different person. So you knew me, but you don't know me. And see, a lot of times people just find it hard to say that to people. It's like you're going to hurt their feelings or something. No, it's not being mean. You're not being rude. What you're doing is protecting yourself. Listen, you've worked hard to not be the person that they knew. You're doing the work even still. If this is something new, you're doing the work even still. And so, no, it's not being rude, but I am protecting who I am in this moment. I've come too far for your conversation to drag me back into being a person that I wasn't. No, we're not doing that. I'm not going to sit and allow you to just hash over things and things and things that I've gone and spent a lot of time, even years, to get over. And now I'm going to sit and listen to that. No, you knew me, but you don't know me. In both instances, a change must have occurred. Yes, I said it. Yes, I did that. But that's not who I am. Yeah, because that's the thing. Girl, you remember when? I remember when you said this, and you remember when you did that. And I, but that's not who I am anymore. So I don't want to rehash that. I don't want to sit and have that conversation. And it's not being rude, but that's who I was. That is not who I am. Listen, do not allow people to keep you in their little boxes with their fingers pointed down on you, because that's exactly what they're doing when they want to run your past back over to you. You need to be able to walk in the new confidence and declare the statement that you knew me, but you do not know me. Let me tell you one of the things that this will free you of, and it is condemnation. We must be free of condemnation. What do I look like putting myself in a position to have to guard myself completely as if I'm being attacked? Because that's what that will feel like to a person that has did a total metamorphosis in their lives. When you start bringing up the past to me and just want to hash everything over to me, then that's feeling like an attack to me. And as it should, because the person that they're talking about, you no longer relate to. Let me give you the definition of condemnation. Condemnation is the action of condemning, which is to express complete disapproval for. So the action of condemning someone to a punishment or a sentencing. Now, when you get into condemnation, you're sentencing your own self. You're punishing your own self. Why? Because you are now having all of these feelings, all of this self doubt, all of this, oh God, I really was that. Oh, I really did do that. That's like a death sentence. When you let the thoughts and views of others become your thoughts and views, especially when they are those of disapproval, then you are living out a death sentence. And why would we be doing that? Who wants to be putting themselves on death row? And that's exactly what you're doing. And when you cannot stand in the face of somebody who is dead set on making you be or taking your mind back to who you used to be, when you can't say, no, you knew me, you don't know me, then you're really just putting yourself into a death sentence. So you have to live out loud. Yes, you got to declare and decree. You can't even try to handle me like that anymore. There are going to be some people that you will encounter that will try to handle you in the way that they used to handle you. They're going to try to deal with you in the way that they used to deal with you. And then maybe the person that you were then, that was adequate. It was okay for you to talk to me like that. Why? Because I didn't even know. who I was. Okay. I didn't even know that I was the salt. I didn't even know that I was the flavor. I did not know that I was the one that was going to be your light. So even now, as God is pivoted you and repositioned you to be in a place, because this is what's happening. And I'm talking to some leaders. I don't care when you hear this, but this is I'm talking to you, that God is positioning you to put you back in the place where they look down on you, back in the place where you were the talk of the town, and not in a good way, back in the place when you didn't have anything of value to give. Now, you were then chosen. You should have then been being the salt, but you blended. You didn't know who you were, so you blended in. Now that the work has been done, now that you've come out, now that you've got a testimony, now that you've been anointed to go right back into that pit and pull others out, there are going to be some, like they say, the crabs in the barrel syndrome. There are going to be some crabs that are waiting to try to pull you down. But you have got to be confident in this. You knew me, but you don't know me. And see, they've got to see that confidence. They've got to see that wherewithal that, hey, no, you really have changed. So you've got to live out loud in the place of progression that you fought and paid for. You have fought for this. Come on. You have given up a lot for this. You have been in the ring for this. And you've paid a hefty price to not be that person that they knew. Come on, you knew me, but you don't know me. Now, I want you to get to know me. And here's the thing, there are going to be some people that you're going to want to get to there. You're going to want them to get to know you. You're there, you're called. You've got the goods. You can help them come up and come out. You can help them on their wealth journey. You can help them on their entrepreneur journey. You can help them with salvation, healing, and deliverance. But some people are just not going to receive. They're not going to receive because it's you. Even with the change, they're just not going to be able to receive it. And that's okay, because everybody that you encounter, you're not going to win. But for those that will, then you've got to stand your ground. And you don't want to act like, no, that's not, like they're not even talking about you. Let me bring some clarity. It's okay. I'm going to give an example for me. But I show up at the family reunion or whatever, or the, not family reunion, let's say the high school reunion, and people begin to talk about some of the things that we did or whatever. It's okay for them to bring up a few things, but I'm not going to sit. It's not going to be ours. We're not going to sit and just hash and hash and hash, especially derogatory things that you did that, were not good things. No, we're not going to hash that up for an hour, 2 hours. We're not going to do that. You laugh it off. Thank God for deliverance. Say, well, however you want to say. And you know what? That's who I was, but that's not who I am. And then let's move on, because see, even then we're encountering new people. It's okay for you to remember who I was at 17. It's okay for us to talk about what happened in the locker room or what happened on the track. It's okay to talk about what happened in Mrs. Davis' classroom. That's fine. But we need to move past to where we are now. If it's the 20th year, so we're almost 40 now. Let's talk about your children. Let's talk about that business. Let's talk about the area you live in. Let's talk about these things. Why? Because I want to get to know you. I knew you at 17. I knew you at the high school. But who are you now? That's what we want to talk about. Now, there are many in stagnation because you let people come into your presence and bring you down. Back down to where you were. Now, that's your fault. Okay? That's your fault. You could try to blame them, and I can't believe them, and I was okay till they came around. I was fine, and they shattered my peace. I was okay, and now I'm feeling depressed. No, that's your fault. Why? Because you did not do what you needed to do to guard yourself. Because you may need to start excusing yourself from some rooms. Yes, I'm going to say that, and not accept some invites. There are some places that you just don't need to go. There are some rooms you just don't need to go into, especially if you were the black sheep of the family. Okay, and now you think about years and years and years of all these terrible things, and the whole family, there's a stigma over your head of who you used to be. You may need to take some seasons away from the family reunion. Why? Because going is going to do what for you? If all they can see is who you were, and you're going to sit there and just take all that in and then go home, and it take a week for you to get okay, no, you may need to just start excusing yourself from some rooms, and that includes family. If your girlfriends are dead set on keeping you in a place and you've come up out of that place, you're now, you're not in bad relationships, and you're now not um having all of these different vices that you need to survive. You're now in a pure place, in a good place, in a healing place, and all they want to do when they get together is remind you of who you used to be. You may need to start excusing yourself from the events. If you know you're not going to be honored, do not go. This is your honoring season. I'm going to say that again. This is the season for you to be honored. You knew me, but you don't know me. This new me is worthy of honor, and I will be honored, or I will not be in your presence. Some people are hell bent on never seeing the new you. They're just not going to. They don't want to, and that's okay. They're not your people. They're not who you call to. When you understand destiny, when you understand divine purpose, then you understand that you're living your life, first of all, to live again. Secondly, you're living your life to bring God the glory. I might have had that in the wrong order. Okay. You're living your life to bring God the glory, to live again, and that your life can be a testimony so that you can bring others out of darkness and into the kingdom. So, if they're not your people, then they're just not your people. Just let them watch from the sidelines. Oh, yes. Let them watch from the sidelines because they're looking. They are looking. They're looking in hopes that you will remain the same, or they're hoping they see the change. They're just hoping that you'll backslide. They're just hoping that you'll go back to the person that just so they can have something to talk about. They want you to remain the same and not surpass them. Sad, but yet true. A lot of people are very okay with you coming out. It's okay. You say you're doing better. Okay. Oh, that's good. You've been to school. Oh, that's good. You got a job. Oh, that's all right. Oh, you got a new house. You bought the house. Oh, as long as it's not bigger than theirs, as long as you don't have as many degrees, as long as they can keep that thumb on you, they're fine. Listen, you're walking in a place of honor. You will not be dishonored. Come on, say that wherever you are, where you're hearing this. I will not be dishonored. They knew me, but they do not know me. I know me. Listen, is when you know who you are, you walk boldly in that. Listen, if you know that you're not strong enough, don't accept the invites. Don't go. Why? Because there is a transitional phase to this. One where you're not where you used to be. Yes, but you're not entirely cemented into the new you either. So in this transitional phase, if you know you're just not strong enough to come to really stand your ground and to put people in their places, and you're still, trying to be shy and not, then you don't need to put yourself in a position where you cannot speak up for yourself and say, hey, you knew me, but you don't know me. So here's what you need to do. I want to try to keep this about 20 minutes. Number one, you need to stay consistent with your confidence. Listen, when you've been through hell and high water and you've done the work to be a totally different person, stay consistent with your confidence. Listen, that means you have to stay mindful of this. Psalms 139:4, I am fearfully and wonderfully made. That's it. I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. Stay confident in that. If you stay confident in that and you continue to remind yourself of that, nobody else can come and try to make you be something else. I don't care what they bring up from the past. You knew me, but you don't know me. And I am fearfully and wonderfully made. I was even then, I just didn't know it. Listen, you got to learn how to shut people down and shut people up. Number two, you need to buffet yourself. You need to have control. You need to have discipline. 1 Corinthians 9:27. Paul said this, but I control, I discipline my body and I subdue it, lest by any means I become a castaway or be disqualified. So you've got to continue to do the work that you're doing, that inner work. You buffet yourself. You stay disciplined. You do the mind work. Come on, you continue to do your confessions. You continue to read the self-help books and manuals. You continue to dig in that word. You continue to seek wise counsel. You continue to do the things. You're buffeting yourself. You don't get lackadaisical in your journey for better. You don't stop. You don't stay on the sidelines, but you buffet your body. That scripture is not just about sin. I buffet my body so that, and it goes on to say, so that at the end of it, when it's all said and done, I myself won't be a castaway. I myself won't make it in. It's not all, that scripture is not just about sin. You can get another revelation out of that. Buffet yourself, discipline yourself in a way to where you can be stern enough to, when you encounter people to try to pull you back, you say, no, my confidence is intact. I am doing the inner work. My mental is fine. I'm doing the work that I need to do so that I can tell you with confidence, you knew me, but you don't know me. Listen, you are, as we close this up, you are the salt of the earth. You are a city that sits on a hill that cannot be hid. Your life. You are the lamp on the lampstand that's sitting on the table that cannot and should not be covered with a bowl. Okay? You are the light. You remember that. I don't care where God puts you and position you. Can I tell you, you're going to go into some places that you've been in before that you said you would never go back to, because why would I go back there? There's nothing for me there. Why would I go back there? I'm going to tell you why, because there was a lot of yous there. Yeah. It's been 30 years. It's been 20 years. It's been 25 years. Why would I go back to that area? Why would I go back to that place? Because you know them. You know them. Listen, you know them. Oh, that's good. You know them. They are right where you used to be. So you can say, I know you. And they can't look at you and say, you knew me. You don't know. I know you because I used to be you. And listen, come here. Let me tell you what I did. Let me tell you that there is another option. Let me tell you that there's another way. Let me tell you that you don't have to be bound. Let me tell you that freedom is for you. Let me tell you about this man named Jesus that came to set the captives free. Oh, I'm not a captive. Oh, yes, you are. You're bound. And I know you're bound because I used to be bound. I'm not bound. I'm happy. You're drinking, you're smoking, you're doing this, and this. That's bondage. So listen, you're the salt. You are not bland. You are not meant to blend. And you're about to encounter people, places. You're about to be in situations where you're going to have to say, hey, you knew me, but you don't know me. And you got to respect that. Listen, you've got a work to do. You've got to make them respect who you are now. And you've got to be confident of the work that God has done on the inside of you so that you can stand boldly in the face of that adversity. You can stand boldly in the face of those accusations. You can stand boldly in the face of that truth, because a lot of what they're going to bring up was true. But guess what? That's who I was. It's not who I am. So listen, that's all I have for you on tonight. 25 minutes, and that's what I wanted. I am First Lady Venus, or Lady V, or just Venus, and this has been another episode of Put Me on Speaker. Listen, somebody needs to hear this. Somebody in your arena, somebody around you needs to hear this. Don't keep this to yourself. Share this with somebody that you know God is dealing with, that you know God has transformed, that you know God has changed, and God is positioning them, putting them back in an area they don't want to be in. Listen, it's a setup. God is setting you up for victory and to bring others out into victory. But you've got to be able to stand boldly and say, you knew me, but you don't know me. Now, let me reintroduce myself. Okay, I am Venus. I will see you back next week, same time, same place. Have an amazing, amazing evening.